The number one reason, the captain of the ship, the captain of ANC is Ramaphosa. He has to take full responsibility and he hasn't. It is ANC culture not to take full responsibility. And basically, Ramaphosa failed to convince the electorate that he will deal decisively with corruption. He's caught between a rock and a hard place because the people that are perceived to be corrupt are members of his party. Actually, the person who is dealing with corruption right now, it is Raymond Zondo, not Ramaphosa. Also, it was during his watch that there was a civil unrest in South Africa between the month of June, July. And he acted so slow. He could have prevented that mess from happening. There were signs that something like this was going to happen. But he decided not to act fast. And people lost their businesses, people lost their jobs. And then a few months down the line, you think those people are gonna vote for you. Come on. The second reason is factionalism. It has not only divided the ANC, but it has divided the country. It has split the ANC into two, and both sides have decided to hang their dirty linen in front of the electorate. So now how do you expect people to vote for you after they've seen your skeletons? And the sad part, this happens at the expense of the poor. This is the irony of the factionalism fight, is that both sides, they are shooting themselves on the foot. The third reason, definitely it is Eskom. Eskom has really cost the country millions of rands. Eskom has caused businesses to lay off people because they are not making profit. Eskom has caused so many disturbances. It's frustrating people. It's costing people so much money. And we must not forget that Ramaphosa, when President Zuma was in charge, established a special committee to deal decisively with Eskom, of which he failed. So why did we expect that when Ramaphosa is the president, he will do better? Eskom is a failure of the ANC. The state capture happened under the watchful eye of the ANC. The chairman of the ANC, Gwede Mantashe, on an interview with SABC, he alluded to the fact that Eskom is running at 60 to 70% capacity. Now that is not acceptable. The fourth reason, it could have been the first, is corruption. The ANC has been in charge of South Africa for so many years. It is not the only party to blame for corruption. As we have seen in the last decade, 2 decades, private businesses, parastatals, individuals, corruption just runs throughout the society. Whether it is a reflection of our society or it's something that happens throughout the world, in South Africa, the people who were on watch were the ANC. They failed to legislate systems to reduce corruption. And the electorate gave them the chance after chance, but the last straw was the looting, or the alleged looting that happened during COVID. How can you be so greedy during a time where people are most vulnerable, during the time where people need your help, during the time where people are hospitalized, during the time where breadwinners are hospitalized, during the times where companies are closing, people are losing their jobs, and then you decide, allegedly, to loot? The electorate said enough is enough. and they said, you know what, we rather stay at home. That's why there was a very low voter turnout. The fifth reason is joblessness. South Africa has a high unemployment rate. It's sitting around 40%. The people who didn't turn out to vote were around about 60%. So 40% of them, you can say it was people who have been looking for jobs but couldn't find jobs. So why will those people be encouraged to vote every 2 years, every 5 years? Why do you expect them to vote? But people have been so frustrated. People who see others progressing and they are not progressing. Definitely, that's a fifth reason why the ANC lost the vote. The sixth reason, it is Action SA. Action SA took a lot of votes from the ANC, especially in Soweto. They took around about 28% of the vote from the ANC and DA in Soweto. So definitely it really reduced the ANC, because if you reduce the ANC in the most populated province, then you reduce it nationally. So definitely people in Soweto, they said no to the ANC. The seventh reason, the last one on this list, of which the ANC was so blindsided, was IFP. Embarrassingly, the ANC lost to someone who had retired, because the IFP used the face of Buthelezi to campaign in KZN. So basically, Zikalala lost to someone who is retired. Now, this was also, you can say, a referendum for Nkosi Misuzulu. Remember, it is worth noting that Buthelezi is in full support of Nkosi Misuzulu. Now, if the IFP uses face and a lot of people support the IFP at the expense of the ANC, it means that also they are in full support of Nkosi Misuzulu, which is a very big win for him as well as a king, because as we all know that his kingship, his throne has been challenged by other members of the royal household. So the people who were happy beside the IFP is definitely Nkosi Buthelezi and Nkosi Misuzulu. And also the people who are contesting the throne should be now worried, because now they can see that they don't have the support of the majority. When he came into office, there was so much in his plate, that is Ramaphosa. There was load shedding. He inherited load shedding. He inherited factionalism. He inherited racial tension, tribal tension. There was state capture. There was high inflation. But people gave him a 4-year mandate. The first 2 years have been horrible. With the constraint of his character, he has dismally failed. He has 2 years now. He has got nothing to lose. So much can happen in one day. He has been given 2 years. Let's see what he can do. What he does now in the next 2 years will make or break a 100-year-old liberation party, which is the ANC. The elephant in the room is the former president Zuma. He has been a lingering shadow in Ramaphosa's presidency. Just this week, he was advocating that leaders must take responsibility, of which it is true. But we must not forget as well that Ramaphosa inherited a lot of challenges from the previous administration. The other elephant in the room is that he inherited a party in decline. Already the ANC lost Pretoria, Johannesburg, and Port Elizabeth under the Zuma administration. It was the first time ever in their history. So he inherited a party in decline. But that's not an excuse. He was supposed to rectify that as a president. Please share other reasons that the ANC lost the election on the comment sections. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Bye.